On mute.
My
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being on with us. I have a special guest today. Her name is Monica Perez. So I'm going to be able to get to know Monica. She's going to share with us how she got into the travel industry. You guys already know that I'm obsessed, and now I just met someone that's just as obsessed as I am, and I'm always interested to know the journey, how they got started, her success strategy. So we're gonna talk about success strategies in the travel industry in 2025. So I'm very excited. We're gonna take about 30 seconds to go ahead and make sure that our lives are on. If you're watching us live, you can leave us some comments because we can see you right now hopping on. And if you are on my YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Leave us some comments. Let us know if you are a new agent. And if you're on Facebook, let us know as well if you just started your travel business, or you may be looking into the travel industry, or perhaps you've been in here for a minute and you have been here a year, 5 years. We'd love to hear all of that as well. And if you have any questions as we are navigating through this interview, we would love to hear from you as well. Share this video with other people who are in the industry, wanting to get into the industry. I'm really excited because I really don't know much about Monica. So you're learning all about her as much as I'm learning all about her. So I'm excited to be on with you guys live in the middle of the day just because we have freedom. And that's why the travel industry for us. So good afternoon, Monica. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It is a beautiful day here. I'm in South Texas and it is just a beautiful day. We are over our freeze, so that's great for me.
I love it. See, I just realized that she is in Texas. I know she said she's Central Time, but I didn't know where. So she's in the state of Texas. What's the weather like there for you?
Today, I want to say it's in the 60s, which is great for us because I don't do cold. What I don't do cold at all. Born and raised here in South Texas, I need the heat.
I love it. I love it. I just have to tell you real quick before we dive in. My auntie in Vietnam, which is my mom's older sister, she's 72. She's actually in Canada, in Toronto, right now with the snow, icy cold. She just flew over a few days ago. She's never left Vietnam in her
Mhm.
70s. She is freezing her butt off. It's so cute. She's like, I was like, how do you like it? She's like, very cold.
Yeah. No, I was not meant for the freeze, for the cold. Like again, born and raised South Texas my entire life. Like I'm used it gets to like 120 degrees over here. So when it gets below like 50, like we're like what is going on?
That is too funny. All right, so let's dive in before we take up everybody's time. Right, if you can just share with us a little bit about your background, and what you do, if you have a full time job at all, and how you got into the travel industry.
Absolutely. So my background is basically, I'm in my 40s. I have done a lot of customer service, a lot of management, kind of experience. And then for me, I've always been social. I've always been like, I like to talk to people. I have two girls and they laugh at me. Like I make friends everywhere I go. I will talk to random people, and that's just because like I've always had, and I don't know if it's the southern in me, or because I'm also Latina, so like the Latina, like just the welcoming vibe. Like I want everyone to feel welcome because they probably are, and then so yeah, so that from my experience, like most of my career has been also like a little bit of like kind of like freestyling. I was doing photography for a while, just because I love looking at the world through the lens. It's a postcard everywhere you turn. So between customer service and just like my love for just like being in contact with people and talking with people and meeting all kinds of people and looking at new things, that's kind of what led me to travel.
I love that. So, share with us how you got introduced into becoming an independent travel advisor, owning your home based travel agency in Texas.
Absolutely. So basically, several years ago, I made friends on a vacation that I was already on. and I was just enjoying it. I am the kind of girl that I love the all inclusives. I love lounging by the pool. I love poolside service. And so when you're just relaxing and you're just able to breathe and think finally, because again, I'm a mom and things get crazy, but when you're able to just relax and start thinking, and then again, mixed with my personality of I like to talk to people and I like to make friends. I met a lady and we just became friends on social media. Like, okay, like she was like, hey, I'm leaving tomorrow. And, I've got some, some stuff, left over in her room. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah, I want it. Give me all the snacks and everything that you have. Anyone who's willing to share snacks with you, I feel like is obviously immediately a good person. So anyway, and then so we just became friends on social media, and it wasn't until like a couple years later that she had been posting, like, hey, this is what I'm doing or whatever. And I really like the vibe because I am not a pushy salesman whatsoever. Like I don't like that, hey, you got to do this or whatever. I like telling people, hey, this is what I'm doing and talking about me and my life. And if you're interested, let me know, kind of a thing. And that's how she was. And so I was like, yeah, I'm interested. Like, um, I'm from home. I need the flexibility of a flexible schedule. And so it seemed like, and she was just really patient with me. And I really appreciated that because, again, I don't like being stressed or pushed into, anything. And so for me, like I took my time, and it was probably annoying for her because I probably took like a month to make sure that this is what I wanted to do. Because if you know me at all, like I don't do things halfway. I don't do things halfway. So like if I was going to commit, I wanted to commit, and I wanted to make sure that I was in a position to do so. And so that's what it is. So I researched all my information to make sure I was making the best decision for myself. And then I got into this, and I've been doing this for a little bit over a year now. And I love it. I love it.
I love that you took a month, which is funny because you said that you took a long time, but I know people that's taken years. So
Yeah.
months is not that long. So you've been in the industry for a year, and I just can tell you are a all or nothing person. And I feel like I get that vibe from you because I'm the same way. I may say I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna give it 5%, but my 5% could be somebody else's 100%, right? And I can see that you have already achieved certain goals within this business. Walk us through the process once you said, okay, I'm going to give it a go. I've done my research. How did you determine your goals and be able to achieve these goals in 2024?
Yeah, so basically, so again, like I looked over like what this meant, like being able to sell travel to people. Me being the kind of person that I already was, obviously I already planned travel for myself all the time. Me being Hispanic Latina, like our family has a reunion every other year, and where like there's 75 of us of our immediate aunts, uncles, and cousins, and we get together every other year for Christmas time. And so like the last year we had the reunion, like I planned it. And so like for me it was the groups, right? So it's groups and travel and all these things. And then so again it was just like, okay, well for me it was a no-brainer because again I had already planned a lot of travel for my immediate family itself, and then I had already planned some family reunions and some large gatherings, girlfriend weekends, all those things. I was already that person. Between my group of girlfriends and my group of friends, it was like, okay, let's leave it to Monica. She's going to handle it because I will. I'm going to handle it, and it's going to get done, and we're going to have fun. Kind of a thing. And then so like once I knew that I wanted to not only to sell travel, but I wanted to be able to, to share the opportunity and to be like, hey, if anyone else wants to do this as well. Once I kind of knew, but again, I just kind of wanted to take my time because that's who I am. Again, I don't do anything halfway. If I'm going to work with some of our suppliers, I want to make sure that I'm understanding that supplier specifically. And so I took it as a list. And for me, because I'm kind of organized, And, and it's like, I went through one by one who was going to help me and my brand, which supplier I was going to be able to partner with to match up with, so to speak. And then I learned about that supplier, I learned about that partner, and I, like, if they had trainings, I took their trainings. And then I look up and it's 6 months later and I've got over like 45 different certifications and trainings for suppliers because I was able to dedicate my time. And whenever, like, and I know like lists and agendas aren't necessarily sexy, but you know what is sexy? 6 months later, how I knocked them all out of the park and I got them, and I'm like loaded in education and knowledge, and I'm now able to better serve my clients, better serve myself and the people that I come in contact with, because I was able to dedicate time to my training and my education, and I planned it out. And again, so it was like, if you look at me, you probably don't necessarily think I'm such a planner. I need all the details to be fixated on and the times and everything. But I'm a mom. I juggle. We have a life, you know what I mean? And so it's like, no, when I am able to work this business, I have a dedicated thing, a list of what I'm going to work on. So if I only have an hour today, I know what that hour is going to be and how it's going to be dedicated. I'm not sitting here wasting time like fumbling. What am I going to do today? What do I feel like posting? No, I've already planned it out. There's a list because I'm a mom. I don't have time to think. I don't have time to think of random, what am I going to be creative about today? No, I don't have time to do that. So I taught myself how to look at the trends on social media, how to ride the wave, so to speak, you know what I mean, how to grow my social media accounts and stuff like that for my business pages and stuff like that. And I was able to do that. And then once I was happy with where I was in my knowledge and in my education, then I started to like push out my social medias, grow my business pages and everything. Because once again, if it was with me and my name and my brand and my image, my reputation, it wasn't going to be, oh, Monica, she's just figuring this out as she goes. It was going to be, Monica knows what she's doing, and she's going to be able to take care of us and give us what we need, and she's going to listen to what we needs. Monica is on it. That was what I wanted for my brand and my name, and for my clients and people to know. Not, we're going to figure this out. Monica already knows. Monica knows, and she's got it. We're going to be in good hands with Monica. And so that's exactly just what I wanted. And so I had worked on that really hard to make sure that I had that. And then, like I said, be able to grow my business. And then I started growing out my business pages and stuff like that, interacting. There's a big phrase, like, you can't be on social media if you're not on social media. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be on social media, you have to be on social media. So what does that mean? Again, I'm not a pushy salesman. I'm very authentic. If my words are not telling you, my face is telling you. I'm very authentic and I'm very genuine. And that's what I want most people to know with me. I'm all about vibes. If the vibe is not working, by all means, we're going to go our separate ways. And that's fine. That's fine. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's great because I'm a coffee drinker anyway. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's okay. Yeah, exactly. It's okay. Um, and so, yeah. And so I was able to formulate my business process for what we do, like the intake, how I want my intake process to be. There is a whole wealth of information, and it can get overwhelming if you let it, if you don't have direction on what it is that you want to do. And as you may have already guessed about me, I kind of already knew what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, me specifically, I wanted to niche or to specify in groups, in group travel, and in luxury. And so those are just two areas that I was already super comfortable with, that I well knew. And again, so it was like, I knew what my process wanted to be. So if I was going to be in luxury, if I was going to be doing with groups and group travel and a whole bunch of people, I knew I needed to have my stuff, my process organized. I knew I needed to have a system. So I worked on what I refer to as my back office process, my business model. And I was able to tweak a few things or whatever, and I got it to where I was happy with. I created my business logo and stuff like that. And for me, I'm not a creative person. So there were some areas that needed some challenge, you know what I mean, that I of my comfort zone. But in any business and any profession, any entrepreneur, you have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You know what I mean? And I was able to do that, and able to figure out again, like my business model, my business plan, my flow for how I wanted to do, so that when I had clients incoming, I already knew like where to send them, to give them a link that has everything. And here you go, to make it easy for them. Because on the other side of that, as being a client, I don't want to be overwhelmed with documentations. You know what I mean? We're not buying a house here. We're buying a vacation. I don't want to have 50 million pages that I know how to fill out. You know what I mean? So it's like, and so I wanted to make sure that my process was streamlined and that it looked visually appealing and that it looked professional. Most importantly, that it looked professional, and so that I was happy with how it was, and I was able to do that. And like I said, it took some time and investing, figuring out what I wanted for myself, and then how I wanted to project my image and my brand. And I was able to do that, and I love that I was able to have the luxury of time to do that and to put into that dedication for that.
I love it. It sounded like you really spent, a large part of the beginning process just fine tuning your business processes. And it seems 45 certifications, like to people, wow, that's a whole lot. But at the same time, these 45 certifications are all catering toward the success of your business. And you also shared that you allotted an hour, whatever time that you had in between your busy schedule. I think that you have really shared your success strategies in just that whole conversation. So I want to ask furthermore is once you decided your niche, which is luxury groups, how did you market yourself in the process of all of this 6 months to then start booking and receiving clientele, reaching your 2024 goals? Because you said you had goals, so whether those goals look like, and then share with us your travel agency name, and I think that's it. I'm not going to ask you anymore because that's a loaded question.
So yeah, so my brand is called the Travel Valet, and what has been working for me. So I'm the Travel Valet on Facebook and on TikTok. And so part of growing that brand is like, again, being on social media. And then so getting into groups, getting into literally, it's a little bit easier on TikTok than it is on Facebook, but it's basically, it's still the same thing on social media. You groups that you identify with. If I'm a coffee lover, guess what? I'm joining a whole bunch of coffee groups. I'm in the North Houston area, so I'm in the Woodlands area. So the Woodlands has like a women entrepreneur group. There's networking groups. There's a Latina networking group. And then there's one for the Houston area, which is even bigger. There's a big one for Texas, for the chapter of Texas. You know what I mean? And so for me, and again, being as social as I am, joining all these groups that align not only who with what I am and my interest, but also with where I'm going, what I'm going to do, because I very much believe in keeping people around you who are going to challenge you in a good way and who are going to help you get to where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be surrounded with your people who are going to not just encourage you and support you, but also who are going to challenge you in a good way to get you out of your own way in doing that. And so I really heavily believe in the networking groups, other professionals. And it doesn't mean that they all have to be travel professionals, you know what I mean? But it very well could, because no one travel agent offers you the exact same thing. We're all very different. We have a very different purpose and a very different goal and a very different brand. You know what I mean? But I formed a networking group for our Houston area, and it's grown now. So now instead of just Houston, now we're South Texas. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, we travel to the surrounding other areas to go to, partner education events and trade shows and stuff like that. And then so I've been able to, I started this business by myself, but because of the kind of person that I am, and again, because I make friends everywhere I go, even on the professional side. So if I'm going to a networking event and I'm with someone who owns a cleaning business or someone who owns a lawn business or whatever, well, hey, we know what it's like to build a business, you know what I mean? And to be able to talk to them like, hey, how did you deal with this? And then if I'm going to a partner event where I'm learning about, a certain suppliers, products and stuff like that, and I'm with other, travel agents, hey, how are you battling this issue? You know what I mean? Because it's not all rainbows and sunshines, but if you know and you have people to turn to that you can ask to get you through to figure things out how are best for you, then for me, like, that's just amazing. So, getting back into me professionally, I've joined networking groups, but then also in those networking groups, there's other things like I said about like coffee, you know what I mean? Like I also love like classic cars, like believe it or not, I love classic cars. I also like vintage. I am very big into like I said, like to etiquette and, manners and things like that. So I'm into like a lot of tea time things, a lot of, movies and books and things like that. So if I'm joining book clubs and I'm joining like movie clubs, if I'm, involved with my church and volunteering and I'm just talking to people and you have a natural conversation of, hey, what does your day look like? Or what are you up to this weekend? Or whatever that is, and if I'm naturally having a conversation, oh, next week I'm going to Dallas, you know what I mean? I'm going to be at a travel convention or whatever, because I'm going to learn, and they're like, oh my gosh, so it's just, for me, it happens naturally in a lot of conversation, but also turn that into the social media side. So again, like if I have social media accounts, part of what I do, part of my day is engaging with my friends on social media. Whether I know these people in person or not, it doesn't matter. I'm probably going to get to know them. I go live a lot, but again, that's me and my personality. I know there's some people that don't like going live. I'm okay with that. Like this is who I am. Normally I'm an open book. What you see was what you get. And so I engage with other people, and there's a lot of people, especially on social media, it could be like a very copy and paste kind of response. With some people, I am not a copy and paste anything in my life. I try to be very authentic. I try to engage authentically. Like if you think of these as relationships, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean it's a romantic relationship by any means, a professional relationship, a friend, a colleague, whatever it is, a human being from a human being to another. If somebody's posting a video about dogs, well, guess what? I'm allergic, but I still love them. They still look cute and cuddly. And I can still like, oh my gosh, Walter's getting so big, whatever it is, or if my girlfriend is posting a picture about her beautiful kid, or my brother's posting a picture of my beautiful nephew, like I can engage, I can give an authentic comment. And by continually engaging with the people in your life and your social media, they are continually seeing your name. And especially if I'm doing it on my business name, then they're saying Monica the Travel Valet, Monica the Travel Valet. You know what I mean? Like there was one comment that somebody had posted, and it was really funny because, I also have like I also have my little sarcastic humor side to me as well. Somebody had made a post about something funny, and I put like the comment of, I was scrolling, I had to pause, go back to make sure I heard what I heard. And then I was like, yep, I heard what I heard, carry on. That comment got thousands and thousands and thousands of likes. And I got so many new followers because of that one comment that was like 6 months ago, because I had a little bit of my own like personality come out with my sarcastic humor. You know what I mean? And that's literally all it is. It's just engaging with people authentically to show and for them to see your authentic self and like your vibe and what's that about, you know what I mean? And again, if you love what you do, which I love what I do, like it's creating memories. That's helping people create memories for themselves, for their family, whatever it is. And I love that I'm able to assist with that, because there's some people, we all have strengths. And I am not a creative person by any means, but what I can do, I can book your travel and I can help you organize your itinerary. And I got that down like to a science, you know what I mean? And so it's like, if that's not your forte, or if you don't want to deal with the stress or the chaos of it, by all means, let me do it. I can take care of it for you.
Describe to me, because you said a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching right now that are in that industry can learn a lot from you. And you know, you speaking about being authentic, which I really agree with you, because if you're who you are all the time in that aspect, then you don't have to work hard to pretend to be anybody else. So it's much easier to do a live, to do social media, being yourself. Now, I want to know what you said that you know you love sharing experiences, but what do you love about having a travel business that grants you freedom, flexibility, and to be honest, we all need more money, but you can make money doing what you love. So if you can share with everybody what that's like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, something that I hadn't mentioned yet about me, like I have two daughters. My oldest is 22 years old and my youngest is 16 years old. And my 22-year-old, she went through cancer treatment. And so she's got a lot of life after cancer, issues going on. So one of the main reasons why I require flexibility in my time and my day and my work, what I do, is because some days like I'm in the hospital, some days, like I'm in the waiting room or I'm waiting in the car. You know what I mean? Like me and my mom life is very busy between my 22-year-old and my 16-year-old. I have a teenager. Like, I don't know if you remember what it was like being a teenager, but she's on the go, go, go. She is my child. She's very social. And so like me as a mom, and that is that's who I am. My children are who I am. Like they're my world, and I do anything and everything for them. And thankfully we like hanging out with each other. So, but whatever is going on with their life and their day, that guides my schedule. That's just the fun fact about being a mom, right? Their life deems my schedule. So if Madison's got some doctor's appointment or some hospital appointment, we have to go in the city, or she's got, physical therapy, whatever it is. Of Bella, my 16-year-old, she's in the culinary program in her local high school. She's being inducted into the Spanish National Honor Society this upcoming week. And so I need to be able to have flexibility in my schedule. So when all of my circus and all of my flying monkeys are calm, I work this. But I'm able to do that because, once again, me personally, like I'm organized. So like this morning, I had a light morning. That's great. You know what I mean? This afternoon, I'm going to be a little bit more busy or whatever. And that's fine. You know what I mean? I work within the flexibility of the time that I have. And that's why again, for me, it's important to be a little bit organized and to be like, hey, I have from 3 to 5 o'clock today. What am I going to work on? I'm going to work on a quote for my client. I'm going to work on getting back, like with my team or whatever, like, organizing a site visit to whatever local, hotel that I want to get into. I want to review a partner training, whatever that is. My hour that I'm going to work on this is dedicated, or the time that I have allotted to work on this today is dedicated. But then overall, like, and I really like, I talk a lot about professional etiquette, and then like, professional boundaries as well, because boundaries are important. And I'm someone who likes to stick up for myself. I'm someone who likes to stick up for everyone else around me too. And so if I say, hey, like this past weekend, it was Valentine's weekend, right? I am in love with the idea of the month of love and celebrating friendships and love between siblings and friends and all kinds of love, right? So this weekend was Valentine's weekend. I did not open my laptop once this weekend. And that's exactly what I wanted for myself, to be able to decompress, because I was able to do that. But in order to do that, I had to work my butt off a little bit more last week to make sure that I was tending to my clients, tending to, like my business partners, and everything that I was done that I said was going to do. Because again, Monica doesn't do anything halfway. If I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to follow through with my commitment, because that's who I am. And so I made sure I got all my stuff done. And then it helps me to stay on track, because if I am, reaching out to clients who are asking like for a quote and doing the, like the travel quote process with a client or whatever, the intake process, or scheduling consultations, I'm doing that to make sure that I'm in an area and in a zone and a time in my day where I can be successful to do that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've taken, client consultations like in my car while I'm waiting for my high schooler to come out of high school. You know what I mean? If someone who there was a healthcare worker, so she was like, I only work the graveyard shift, break is at 2 a.m. You know what? That's part of my job is to meet your needs. So if I can schedule it and you're going to show up to the phone call, hey, if that's what works best for you, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's all about the details to the customer attention and stuff like that. And so because I'm able to just be authentic and schedule myself when I'm available, then I'm able to do that, and I will tell people, like, hey, I've got to either take my daughter to the hospital, whatever it is, and so it's like most of the time people understand that, hey, you have a life too. But for the most part, I'm always like, hey, I'm available between this time and this time. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, let's schedule it for this time. And so as long as you're able to communicate, which I try to be very good at communicating with people, that just helps me with, like, again, narrowing down my process, making sure that everybody's respecting each other's time, that nobody's wasting each other's time. And then because I've been able to like narrow down my methods and my process, like I don't have many people who are like just asking for nothing, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, it comes out to be a very productive conversation. I'm able to get what I need from my client, and then so I can begin my research and do that. And then so if they tell me based on their needs, like what it is they want, what are their needs and what are their wants, and like what can I do to help, make sure that that happens, I just try to pay attention, and listen. It's as part of our job is just to listen to what they are saying, like you can't put your own opinions and your own like regulations on what someone is wanting. You have to listen to what they want because they're the ones going on the trip and paying for it, not you. So it's not about how you would do things. It's about how can you meet the client's needs and give them what they are asking for. You know what I mean? And having the knowledge and the knowledge power to search through your partners to say who is going to be the best partner for this fit.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Like I said, you are helping a lot of people that are watching because some people are, asking, how do I get clientele? How do I do this? How do I do that? And you literally just told everybody the simple fact of paying attention, be a good listener, and stay on top of your craft. Sounds like, your focus is on mastering what you do here. And I love that you're able to help your family, especially with your daughter going through cancer and everything like that. And I know people watching could really relate because we all have life going on. So what would you encourage people that are watching that has life? But just because we have life and we still have life left and we're living, what would you encourage people to do? Because there's a lot of people that love travel and perhaps they can't do it because of life, or they don't have the means, the money because of life. What would you encourage them to still look at this opportunity as something that's really viable, and really sometimes this business it saves lives because it gives you something meaningful to do, and it seems to me that has given you life, being a busy mom, going through what you're going through and having that flexibility. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like for me, and that's why it's like, and I get it. And especially like, like in today's day and age, like, you may think that, it's not as easy to travel, or, if your funds are limited. But I just think that this is another way to make that happen. Like if you're doing this business and part of you learning with the different suppliers and learning how to do things and to just really learn about the travel industry, you're going to be able to see how easy it is to make some of these things happen. And it's not a sales gimmick. It's not like, there's some partners that they offer payment plans, you know what I mean? And that's something that maybe you as a client, you wouldn't have known, but now you as an agent, hey, which supplier offers payment plans? or a way to financially make it happen. You know what I mean? And so, like, being in the industry means that you're learning the industry and that you're learning what the different suppliers and different partners offer. I mean, it's not just completely 100% like a travel tourism company. Like, there's other things that happens behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, and whether it's the rental cars or the flights or the cruises or whatever it is, or the insurance, that goes with it. But I just think that, and there's some partners that they'll let you schedule out like up to a year and a half, 2 years out, and you can start making your payments on that and stuff like that. So I just feel like, I'm not saying that the money is not important. I'm saying it can't be hung up on that only factor, because there's way too many ways to make it happen. You would have to be going out of your way to make an excuse for every possible way that there is to help you travel. And again, it's not necessarily about the money of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, I'm in the Houston area, I'm in Texas area. Like, I was laughing with some of my colleagues the other day, and I'm like, I've gone to Dallas once in my life for a high school competition, but now all of a sudden that I'm a travel agent, I've been to Dallas like 6 times the last 3 months, And so it's like, it doesn't like, and I'm still getting out and I'm meeting people, and even in my own state, I'm traveling within my own state. And then I'm realizing, like, there was, I don't know if you've ever been, I don't know if you know, but there is a Eiffel Tower in Texas, and it's in Paris, Texas. And there's an Eiffel Tower, and it has a big old red cowboy hat on it. And I've been to Paris, France. I've been to Las Vegas, so I've seen the Eiffel Tower there in Vegas. And I was like, I was having a weekend with one of my best friends, and she's like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "Well, I don't want to go to city, and we're not going to travel out of the country for the weekend or whatever." I was like, "We somewhere." And I was like, "We're going to go to Paris, Texas, because I've never been, and apparently it's a bucket list to see all the Eiffel Towers, and that's the one that I have left to see." So I'm able to learn about possible experiences. You know what I mean? Like, it was a 3-hour drive, not a big deal. And it was a great city that probably isn't mostly thought of. You know what I mean? And so I was able to have a unique experience and share that with my best friend, who was also a mom, and we needed to get it away from our kids for the weekend. You know what I mean? And it was like, who knew that you needed to go see the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas, and see the red hat on there and enjoy some really, really good coffee and homemade bakeries. And like, we saw like this bagel place that was homemade bagels, and then like all these just mom and pop restaurants that were really good, and this the vibes that they had. And it was like, it was an amazing experience that I never would have thought of had I not become a travel agent. And it's not like, yes, of course you can go to exotic places as well. You know what I mean? But it's like, there's also just somewhat local memories and local places to see that you probably hadn't thought of, and because you are in this industry, you are now thinking and realizing, hey, you know what I mean? Like, maybe in Texas, it's a big thing to go float in the river, you know what I mean? Or to go visit the Alamo, or to go visit the water, you know what I mean? And so it's like, there you have all these options and these possibilities that you probably just didn't think of before because you weren't thinking about it. So
I love it. And that's exactly why travel, because it's like it opens so many pathways that's already there that you didn't know was shut down because you're just not in the industry. So thank you for sharing with that. And yes, I'm going to find my way to Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas too. So thank you for sharing that. And that's what I love about this industry is, right? You never know who you're going to meet. You never know you're going to receive some information. And we inspire each other every single day. Now I'm going to switch gear a little bit because you have mentioned that you are a Latina. And we just started something that I think is so amazing within our industry and our company, which is we call it the Spanish movement through travel. Tell me your thoughts about it and how important it is for you to just be a part of this movement.
absolutely. So, like I said, born and raised in South Texas. So there's a Texas country girl in there somewhere. But then also like, Latina, like my parents, my dad was raised in Mexico. My mom was raised in the border of Texas. Her grandparents were in Texas when it was part of Mexico. And so like I'm a Latina, my heritage, my ancestors, they come from Spain, and so like it's, they went to Mexico. And so, knowing what my personal history is with my family and all that they've done to get to where I am today, um, it's like everybody has their story. Every family has their battles. Every family has their traditions. And then, like I think I had mentioned before, that like on my family reunion, we get together every other year for Christmas, and that's something that's been since before I was born. And so for the culture, and and every, everyone has their cultures or whatever, but for us and in my Latin culture, it's very family oriented, and you have a lot of multi-generational families that are traveling together, and we're Latinos, so we're big family. We're big family. Like I said, just between the aunts and uncles and first cousins, we are like 75. And so it's big. It's a lot. It's big, and that's just one side of the family. So it's like you still got the other side. And so for me, and then again, like, like I just think, in like my girls, obviously, like teaching your children your culture, letting them share in that, letting them see the ups and downs. There's ups and downs in every culture, and it's not always pretty, but you can understand the hard work and the hard effort and the challenges that comes with any culture. But for us Hispanics, again, you know what I mean? And then like when the girls and their father, and what, he went through, and then what my parents went through and my grandparents went through, it's very real. It's very, very real. And so I just feel like doing the Spanish movement, and like, again, being born and raised down here in Texas, Spanish is a second language, is very prominent here in Texas. And then so you see every single day people that are struggling because like they want to try to do better for themselves, and that's kind of the whole point. You know what I mean? Like they're ready to work, they're ready to put in the work and to do better for themselves and for their families or whatever. And so you see that happen a lot with the culture, and then just like every culture has their own kind of level of like of ethics as well. You know what I mean? And so it's like the professionalism and doing a job well done kind of a thing like reigns strongly, within the Latinos. And so again, so for me, and then like I said, like my girls, their father was Honduran. And so their grandmother, their abuelita, is Honduran. So like my girls are, half Honduran, like half Mexican. So the essence of the mixing bowl of Latinos, and I just think, like, again, like I see my daughter and even the challenges that she has at her age at 16 years old, and going through and learning the language, learning the culture. And like I said, she's joining, she's being inducted into the National Spanish Society, which is just very proud. But I see adults who have challenged, who didn't have the same opportunities, and they're doing the best that they can. And I think just like they have lives, we all have lives too. And so I think, again, like there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of stuff. And like, I think travel and in this industry, that they're able to offer something to them, to have the flexibility to work from home, to have the flexibility to help their family, and to help them make memories. I just feel like it's just super important, and so like being able to speak Spanish, being fluent and being bilingual, and that I'm able to do that. I mean, it's kind of like I go to the grocery store and I see if someone's, having a communication barrier, like I'm going to help them. I'm going to translate for them. I'm going to do whatever they need to so that they can be successful. And so I just feel like, I don't know, a little bit of grace, a little bit of mercy, and a little bit of, human kindness from one to another. I just feel like we have a responsibility help those, like bring this opportunity to them, because there's a lot of people who like travel. There's a lot of people who need something that they can work from home, and the flexibility as well. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I just feel like, again, not only for my kids, but for my parents and for my grandparents and for all of them, like, I just feel like we should help everybody all the time. But if we're helping people, like, like within our culture, and showing and embracing our culture, and able to do that through travel, I think that's amazing, because it's a whole world. It's a huge whole world. And it's like, there's so much to do, and so much that we can help each other with, and how much that we can help each other grow, and we can all be successful. And that's why, like, there's something that I say a lot with the people that I come encounter with, the other agents. Like, I'm not in competition with you. I'm in competition with myself, who I was yesterday. Like, I'm going to help you as best I can. And so long as you want the help, and you're going to learn, and you're going to receive, and you're going to grow, I will continue to assist. You know what I mean? As long as you're wanting to do that as well.
And I totally can relate. My sister's on the line too. She's sharing with a lot of her Hispanic friends, and much like you, we feel a sense of responsibility because we know firsthand what our parents has gone through. So it's not like it's been filtered down. By the time it gets to the first generation Mexican or Hispanic American or Asian American, and then they have children. By then they're full American, but for us it hits home because we saw the challenges that our parents had to sacrifice, leaving their home countries to go in a foreign country and just make ends meet, whatever job that's offered that other people don't want. So work ethic is something that is within our community. So now what we're saying is we want to help transfer that work ethic that they already have within our cultures. And then now, because you are educated in the travel industry, you've taken 45 certifications, you are bilingual, now you're saying you're able to help build something for the future for a lot of people who don't feel like they can. So let's talk about encouraging the people that don't speak Spanish, the people that probably did not have the education, even high school or college, because they had to make those sacrifices to take care of their families. And we're talking about your Hispanic community where the families are huge. And somebody had to make the sacrifices for us to function as a whole. What would you say to those people that feel like that is not for them and they can't do it?
So I would say, first of all, I have a high school education. I don't have higher education than that. So I'm one. I'm one. And again, it's like, it's nothing to do with a higher level education. You know what I mean? If you have one, of course, that's great, but not everybody had that opportunity. And just like you said, like, I completed my high school education, and that's the highest level of education that I have. But that hasn't stopped me. That hasn't stopped me, because I have children and I need to help them, and I need to show them. I have two girls. I need to show them, what it's like for women to work and get behind and do something, and to follow through and have integrity and have professional ethics and stuff like that, and to build. You don't necessarily need a college education to do stuff in life. And like I said, it's just, I think it's a lot of, we get stuck in our own mind, we get stuck in our own ways and our own habits. And there's some people, like, for every solution they create a problem. And for me it's the opposite. Like, for every problem I'm gonna create a solution. And so for me, my problem was that I needed to be home. I don't have a higher level education. And what can I do to help my family, to support my family in the limited hours of the day that I have to commit, but also do something that's going to benefit my family and help in not only just the finances as well. And so for me, that very much was travel, like, we like to take trips. Okay. So it would be great if I had even more knowledge than what I already did. You know what I mean? Like, it would be great if I could keep my flexibility. Well, you're able to do that with this kind of a job. You can't sit here and want to sign up and then not ever want to put any kind of time or effort into this, because then you're not setting yourself up for success. And that's something that I very much like to do. I like to set myself up for success, like, so if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to give it my best effort, and I'm going to commit, and I'm going to follow through with that. Because again, I just feel like, again, like that's I'm one. I'm a Latina who doesn't have a higher level education, who I had to, take care of my children, take care of my home. And that's something that I've done. And this, like I said, there's a solution for every problem if you're looking for it, without the excuses. I'm just not an excuses kind of person, like, I'm someone who's going to find a way to make it happen.
Hey, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yep.
Great. My laptop just went out, but hey, I got my phone. We're on Facebook and YouTube Live. So thank you everybody for your patience. I really like the fact that you said all those things to really help encourage the people. And that's why we're doing this live today, because we really want to help people to understand that this gives flexibility. And I just realized that, yeah, you just finished, all you had was your high school education, and you're one of the smartest people I know already. 45 certifications. I mean, not only that, you specialize in luxury travel. Most people starting out, are worried about that, because luxury is a whole other level, like you said, professionalism, etiquette, all those things. So that's a big deal that you are telling us and showing us how it's done. So I'm spend the next 5-10 minutes just to close it out, us out soon, as far as talking about the challenges that you have faced in this business. One is, you said that, okay, I needed to learn the industry, and you want to share with other people to also learn how to do the same thing. What has been the challenge for you as far as helping others to succeed the way that you have?
So one challenge that I have is that not everybody follow throughs with what they say that they want. Like, nobody is forcing this on you. You decide, we're adults. We decide that we want to do this. So I don't think that people understand that this is a business. This is a business, like, even if you're only doing it 5 hours a week, it's a business. So you have to put in the time and the effort to growing that business. You're not going to get rich quick by working at 1 hour a month. You know what I mean? So my biggest challenge that I've seen is having people level up to, like, to what their expectations are, to the reality. You know what I mean? So I did not become, group certified overnight. It took commitment. It took looking into the partners that would benefit me. It took learning the ways, learning the forms, learning the process or whatever. So it's like I had to invest time into making sure that I was getting out of it what I needed to get out of it, that I had the time and the dedication to follow through with it. Going to the partner events and signing up for the things and getting involved with, like, the different groups and stuff like that, and the education and stuff that was available, and tapping into the resources that we have available and knowing how to navigate that. So I am someone that, is like, I wouldn't say that I'm like super tech savvy, but I know how to run a computer. I know how to run my phone. I know how to run social media. So, like, for me, like, I've seen some people, like, they don't level up their expectations to, hey, I don't know how to work a laptop and I've never heard of social media in my life, but I want to do this. Let's make a whole bunch of money. And it's like, that's not how it's going to work. You know what I mean? So that's just been one challenge for me. And it's like, and again, for me, I tried to help people as best as I can. But the other thing is, like I had mentioned before, about instilling professional boundaries, like, I have to set a limit. I have to set, like, I have my own business, my own family that I have to run as well. So it's like being able to help people, but realizing like I can't dive into completely doing everything for them. People are going to have to stand on their own 2 feet, and they're going to have to find a way. And then so like I think I had mentioned before that I'm helping assist with like 135 new agents getting through like a new agent class. I look at myself as the bridge. I look at myself as the bridge for here's all the information that they are teaching you, that they're teaching us. And here's you being independent. This is me in the middle helping you bridge all that information, funnel the information, understand the information, and getting you to be independent, because that's where we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be independent. We are entrepreneurs. We have our own business, and again, our business is not the same as yours or the next person's or whatever. It's ours, so we have to make it our own. And so, and again, like for me, like I really do enjoy being the bridge for some people and making sure that they understand the things that that we're being taught, and how to put it into action, how to implement that or whatever, so that they can be independent. And so like, again, I don't know if that's the mom in me, like, raising kids to be independent and to be fully functioning, human beings, and hopefully decent and kind human beings. That's how I feel about new agents, joining this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to be the bridge that helps you to become independent so you can have your full potential. And, your confusion is going to be received in kindness. And, we're going to help, make sure that you understand what it is that you're learning so that you can function and grow your own business and your own brand.
Oh, I love that. You're doing great things. And together we're going to do such amazing things because I am that bridge and I love being the bridge as well. And, when you meet other people, now you get to do that together. So it's not like a lonely road because you need, not everybody is meant to be that bridge, because that has to be a self-fulfilling thing, where a self-motivating thing to be able to want to do that, because that's time, energy, and effort on your part, and you don't get paid to do this bridge work, but I know that it pays you and rewards you in so many ways that we can't even describe, right? The fact that you helping so many other people. So I want to ask you about the investment in our opportunity of starting a travel agent business. And I know you invested just as much as I did, just as much as my sister and the other independent travel agents that are watching. We all invest the same amount of income into the business. What are your thoughts about that? Because a lot of people are afraid of investing and losing. How would you help them to understand the value of what you get in this type of business versus what you paid to get it?
So first, I will say, what is it like the to join? I want to say it was like $180, if I believe that's correct. And then aside from that, it's $60 a month because of what I do. That being said, I understand that coming up with that first $200, that's not easy for some people. I very much understand that. So what did I do? Because I knew that this was going to be the way forward for me. Um, I cut out certain things to get to that $200. I know $200 is not easy to come by for a lot of people right now. But what I also know is that it's a short-term sacrifice to save here, save there to get that $200 to pay it, and then to turn around, and you don't need experience or training to sell travel. It absolutely helps if you do, but there's so much free resources. So all of those certifications that I have, I think I've only paid for like one thing, and it was the group's certification course or whatever over the weekend. Everything else that I've taken was free. So it's a matter of getting out of your own way, making sure that you schedule yourself. And because again, if you're worried about that $200 and not making your investment back, as long as you're hustling and you're doing the work and you're doing the time and the investing in the research and training and building your brand and doing those things, you're going to get it back. I mean, your neighbor travels, your family travels, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're only doing it for your own travel, which I would not recommend. I'm just saying that it's like everybody, even if it's just your travel, you're going to make that investment back. And as long as you're out there putting out the information and putting your name and your face out there, like, hi, I'm Monica, I'm the travel valet. Guess what? My services are free. You know what I mean? Like putting yourself out there on a daily basis and reminding people through posts, through reels, through stories, putting your face, putting your own voice in there, letting you know, hey, this is me. This is what I can offer you. This is what I can do for you. You know what I mean? Like I've got so many videos posted out there every single day. And some of them I recycle because it's the same thing. And some of them I create new. And sometimes I just go live and I talk about what I'm doing today, or I'm cooking and hey, I'm talking about, how I've helped somebody today. As long as you're putting yourself out there and they know, when you look at my Facebook page, you have all my links to all my contacts, to all my social medias, every single way. You know what the name of my company is by looking at my page. You're not going to question, what does Monica Perez do? You're going to see, because I've told you and I've made sure that it's obvious. So as long as you're making sure that it's obvious what you do, people are going to naturally come to you. And I just got like a request from a girlfriend that I've known for 20 years. Hey, Monica, I want to go on a girlfriend's weekend. Can you help me? Of course I can help you. That's why, I can help you, and things like that. And then again, growing social media for complete strangers. Hey, are you a travel agent? Can you help me? Yes, I can. You know what I mean? So they know, because of the content that I'm putting out every single day, to reassure them, anything dealing with travel, you think of Monica Perez, you think of the travel valet, and we're going to help you get it done.
I love it. You had shared some amazing nuggets. I'm so excited that everybody get to know you today. This won't be our last interview of you. So now, closing remarks. What are the three things that you think is the most valuable that you can share when it comes to being in the travel industry, whether they're going to travel, because you're there, you are already participating in the travel industry when you travel with your family, but on the business side of being in the industry and all that comes with it.
So my thing is this, is you have to follow through. For me, that's number one. You have to follow through. If you say that you're going to do this, set yourself up for success. And that's my number two, is set yourself up for success. If you only have 3 hours a week, that's not the problem. The problem is not that you only have 3 hours a week. The problem is that when you're sitting down for those 3 hours a week, what are you doing with those 3 hours? You know what I mean? So you have to follow through. You have to set yourself up for success. And then number three, you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there. If your social media pages don't tell anybody what you do, or that you're not related to travel in any single way, why would you think that they are going to associate you with your travel? And then you're going to be wondering why you don't have any clients or anyone coming to you, because nobody knows you have anything to do with travel. You have to put yourself out there. You have to commit. You have to follow through, and you have to set yourself up for success. Those are my three like absolute pillars. You have to. And that, for me, that's going to start everything else coming where it needs to go.
Thank you so much for your insight and valuable information. I love getting to know you and your success. 1 year in the business, and I can already see some great, amazing things. And we are, very, very highly involved in the Spanish movement. So anyone that is watching, that is on your social media, or any of us that have shared with you this video, get back with that person who invited you. Get back with Monica and get your questions answered. Look at the information, whether that is, if you are looking for trips, right? The travel valet got you. But whatever that is, when it pertains to this industry, how to get started, how can you make it work for you, get your questions answered. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to close it out by saying thank you so much, Monica Perez, for just showing up for yourself, showing up for your family, showing up for the industry, and representing not just, the women in our industry, but the Hispanic community. And we're going to do some great, powerful things together. Thank you again. Everyone, have an amazing day. Thank you so much, Monica.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.